What's up, everyone? This is your boy Marlon Reed from GaminRealm.com. This is episode 10, I believe, of our podcast. Thank y'all so much for supporting us. Thank y'all for the feedback on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, GaminRealm HD. Thank y'all so much. Keep supporting us. And I want to make the announcement right now. While we're speaking right now, we're about to start up another giveaway, y'all. So the details is going to be after this podcast, but it's going to be for Titanfall. And I need everybody to go to my channel, which is GaminFO87, no space. Hit the subscribe button. I need you to go to GaminRealm HD, do the same thing, GaminRealm HD, no space. I need you to go to our Facebook, our Twitter, and also go on the site and register, okay? And like the Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and also tell us why we need to give you Titanfall. Like, give us a reason why we should give it to you, and it better be a good darn reason why. And also basically tell us like how the game is going to change the way how we play first person shooters, okay? And we're going to give this game away. So shout outs to Microsoft, love you, thank you so much. And again, my name is Marlon Reed, aka Matrix. Thank y'all so much for the last podcast. Now everybody already know who everybody is, just Michael and Shope. So we're just going to hop into the podcast. We're not going to waste any time. Is everybody ready, excited to get this puppy on the way?
Yep, ready.
Yep.
All right. Now, this game right here, y'all. I know Shoke's been excited about this game. He actually wanted to see gameplay. And I'm excited about it because I'm a Sony fan. I love everything that Sony does. I mean, as far as the exclusive stuff goes, I love everything that Sony puts out. The Order 1886. Even if you're not a fan of shooters at all, this game looks amazing. Now, the first gameplay footage was rolled out today, and I honestly believe that this game looks out of this world good. It's basically CG or CG, if I'm saying that correctly, CG mixed with gameplay. So it's kind of like you see the cutscenes and everything, but it's you actually playing the cutscene. So I mean, it looks so beautiful. It's smooth, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, the next gen is here. Like, that game shows me and tells me that next gen is here. And from all the games that I'm seeing so far, it's like that are out right now is not really showing me next gen quality. But this game, The Order 1886, it's amazing. I don't know if any of y'all want to touch upon this, but I saw the footage and it blew me away.
I have not seen the footage, unfortunately, so I don't really have an opinion on that.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Whenever you get the chance.
I wasn't even aware of it.
Yeah, whenever you get the chance, you need to check it out. Like, that game looks amazing. Like, it's like out of this world. To me, it looks better than Infamous Second Son. Yes, wow. I'm going there. It looks better than that game. If I send the file to
in terms of graphics or like gameplay in general.
In terms of graphics and gameplay, it's like Heavy Rain on crack. Like, it looks so good. Like, it's like okay, picture in your mind like how Uncharted 4 would look. That's pretty much how the game would look in your mind. Like, if you're thinking about how Uncharted 4 would look on the PS4, that's pretty much how the game looks. Like, it's surreal, out of this world good. Shoke, I know you've been waiting on this game, man. And I know you wanted to see like footage because I remember you were talking about it a while back. And you were like, yeah, the order looks promising, but I need to see some footage. I mean, you have anything, man, you want to share on it?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes,
when the whole news came out that, it wasn't going to have multiplayer, like, I was really bummed out about it. But, after seeing the footage, that has definitely kind of, revitalized, my excitement for the game. And I like, speaking on the graphics, the way they always explained what they were trying to do with the game, like graphically, like how they're trying to make it look, cinematic, make it look like you're playing a whole movie the whole time. I think that they nailed that perfectly because it looks, very cinematic, things of that nature. The only thing that I still have to see more of is the actual gameplay itself, because most of that trailer or gameplay wasn't actually, gameplay in the sense that, there was like 5 seconds of him shooting somebody, Like, yeah. I want to see a gameplay video of uninterrupted, combat. You see what I'm saying? They kind of skipped and skipped and skipped, and we didn't get to really see, how fluid it is and how, it transitions from shooting to, close combat or anything like that. So that's definitely something I want to see more of. But outside of that, I think the game looks damn amazing, and I'm definitely still picking it up, multiplayer or not. So.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That just shows you that Sony, they're the king of exclusive in my book. I mean, they have shown, like, this time around that they're not playing any games, and they care about the fans, they care about the gamers, and they want to showcase next gen to us. When other companies are giving us mediocre frame rate and mediocre graphics, they're showing us, like, full, HD graphics, quality and frame rate and everything. And this game looks like, oh my God. Michael, now just off of what you just saw, could you elaborate on that? Even though you're not, I don't know if you're a fan of third-person shooters, but just looking at the game with the graphics and the smoothness of the gameplay. I mean, do you have anything to shed on that?
I don't know. I may have looked at the wrong trailer, but it looked like because it was showing all kinds of different camera angles, so it looked like it was only a cutscene that I was looking at. But I'm sure those are probably the actual in-game graphics. Mm-hmm. But based off of what I did just watch, it looks pretty amazing, I must say. Like, it does look more realistic than Infamous Second Son. So I can see what you're saying. Like, it basically looks like how an Uncharted 4 would look like.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, I'm like, what am I about to say? Sony is I meant to say Sony, and I was like, shh. Sony is basically pushing the envelope when it comes to exclusive games, quality, and variety and innovation. That game is just awesome. I cannot wait for it to come out. And Sony, please send us the game for review, because, yeah, Shokio will definitely give it a 10 out of 10. And I'm saying it on wax. I'm saying it on wax. Sony will definitely give it a 10 out of 10. So I know that it's going to be awesome. So I'm not even going to deny that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the next thing. And like I said, I can't wait for it to come out. I believe it's coming out, sometime this year?
It doesn't have a release date yet.
Oh, it doesn't have a release date yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's scheduled for this year. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, let's talk about the crazy topic that's still floating around in the industry, and it is Titanfall. Now, this topic keeps coming up over and over again. Now, Titanfall, apparently Respawn Entertainment promises the Xbox One version to have improvements. Like, they're going to give the game improvements on the Xbox One version of the game. Now, this comes as no surprise considering how much people are bashing the game. And it is really sad because it's like, come on, we're in the next gen era right now, and we're getting mediocre frame rate, mediocre graphics, graphics looking like 360, no single player. I mean, come on now. We all know, and I said this in my older videos, and I've said this time and time again, when you're introducing a new IP, it is very important for you to share a single player. That way people can get used to the characters, get used to the universe, get used to, everything that you have to offer, everything that you have to showcase. The game feels a little bit like Call of Duty, a little bit, because you can see the little Call of Duty DNA in it. I don't understand I don't understand why people are saying that it's changing the way how we play first-person shooters. Maybe because of the whole, pilot they call them pilot, but soldier and Titan and stuff like that. I get the whole gameplay element. You can run on walls and, get in the Titan and shoot at other Titans and stuff. That is cool. The graphics, though, I understand graphics is not really important to a lot of people, but it is when you're talking about next gen. And the quality to me is just, I know it's the beta, but my God, like the beta has to be, the quality for the beta has to be better than that. The quality to me, it looks like PS3 graphics. It looks like 360 and PS3, like last gen graphics. And for them to come out and say, okay, they're going to promise us an improvement on the Xbox One, and I forgot, and on the 360 version also, because they don't like what the media is saying about the game being mediocre, and it's the truth. If you cannot push 1080p quality at 60 frames per second, then it's not classified as next gen. If you're not pushing that, if you're not doing the industry standard, which is 1080p 60 frames per second, then what are you doing with your games? And I'm sure the Xbox One can push it because Forza I believe is doing 1080p with 60 frames, I believe. But at the same time, that game looks awesome. The Rise Son of Rome, that's 900p. It's not 1080p. But it looks good. I feel like the Xbox One has potential to push 1080p graphics, but the PS4 is doing a better job when it comes to frame rate, when it comes to graphics, when it comes to the quality of everything that you're getting outside of the product. I feel like, it's a lot more. Sony is doing a lot more right now. I'm sorry, but Titanfall, to me, this whole Titanfall stuff could have been so much better. When I first heard about the game, I thought it was going to be epic. I thought the game is, don't get me wrong, the gameplay is sick. It's a really good game. It's not a bad game. It's just the quality is just horrible. It could have been so much better. I don't know if any of y'all have anything to say about that, but
I've said enough about Titanfall. Honestly, I'm tired of hearing about that game. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm just ready for it to come out so everybody could just move on with that.
Yeah, like I said, the graphics could have been better, but this is good news considering that they want to improve it, improve the Xbox One version and the 360 version. I guess like umped it up a little bit, and they also have some info on the game on the 360 version, being that they delayed it. So we just have to wait and see, And like I said, it's a very good game. I love it, and yeah, they just need to improve the quality. So let's move on here. We have here a new Far Cry game teased by Ubisoft. Anybody know anything about that? Ubisoft kind of teased a new Far Cry game, which I know that this was going to happen because it's Ubisoft and they love their franchises. They like to milk their franchises. So, yeah. Anybody wanted to shed anything on that? Anybody heard about that?
Yeah, I heard about it, but to be honest, I'm not really like extra excited like that. Like I'll check it out, and I do have Far Cry 3, you know, and I got that on PC, you know, so I have the the prettiest looking version or whatever. But and it was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something that like, oh man, I hope they make another of. Like I'm not big on Far Cry like that, so I don't have much of an opinion on that. But I will say that kind of like you said, Ubisoft loves them sequels, so
Yeah, they love
that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, and like I said, 3 was amazing. I mean, they did a fantastic job with that game.
It was a really great game, but I think it's one of those series that if it stopped, not that many people would really be sad about that.
Yeah, and you're actually right. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Whenever that comes out, like I said, hopefully, I don't know, they might reveal it at E3 or whatever, but we're just gonna have to wait and see on that. Let's move on, y'all. Infamous Second Son.
Yay.
Infamous Second Son. I'm gonna talk about this game. I could sit here and talk about this game all day long, but Infamous Second Son. They revealed the box art. I guess this is like the European box art, and also they talked about the installation size of the game. Now, some of y'all head is gonna explode when y'all hear this. It's basically 24 gigabytes.
Wow.
My God.
That's kind of big.
What y'all have to say about that?
All I can say is, go ahead, Michael.
Well, I'm glad that the PS4s come with 500 gigabyte hard drives.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm the same way too. But 24 gigabytes, come on now. Remember back in the day when the PS3 had first came out with 20 gigs, 24 gigs, y'all? That is crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's huge. But see, it's not like a big deal because we're spoiled now. We got 500 gigabytes. So it's like, that's not really a lot, but it is a lot considering that coming from last gen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't very typical last gen. But I mean, like, it doesn't surprise me because it kind of makes sense because it's a big game. It's an open world game. So there's a lot of data that's going to go into that with the locations and buildings and the AI and stuff. And of course, graphically the game looks awesome. So that's going to take up a lot of space on a disc.
Yeah, and like I said before, it's just oh man, it blows me away how good that game looks. I mean, I can't wait for that game, and the fact that they're letting the player interact, with the PS4 controller by using your thumb, to actually do like some type of gameplay interactions. Like I guess like to get to certain parts of the game, you'll have to put your thumb on the touchpad, and that is just awesome how they're actually letting the player, get involved in the experience, and that is just awesome.
Yeah, so far out of all the PS4 games I've played, they haven't really utilized the touchpad all that much, so that's good. They're actually utilizing it in an innovative way.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Just looking it up, though, it's like only a month away, March 21st, for Infamous Second Son.
I can't wait for that. That game is going to be like off the charts. Like off the charts. I can't wait because I feel like
pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to do some numbers as far as I don't know. Like I feel like it's going to do some huge numbers and actually sell some PS4s, like a whole bunch of PS4s for people that don't have a PS4 yet.
Yeah, plus it's one of the first games that really shows off the PS4's power.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. That's what I'm saying. Infamous Second Son defines next gen. It's letting us know that next gen is here. Like the quality, the gameplay, the varieties, the new character. For a lot of people that are Infamous fans, including myself, Cole McGrath and who else was in Infamous 2? Was it still Cole McGrath? No, I think it was it as. Oh, okay.
That was cool.
It was Cole. Okay,
Just a different Cole.
Yeah, it's just a different Cole. Yeah. So the same. That's what threw me off. So the same Cole McGrath character, and then now we're introduced to a new character. So it's going to be very interesting how the story is going to turn out, though. Can't wait for it. Um, all right. Anybody else have any comments on it before we move on?
Nope, just ready for that game to come out so I can play
it. Pretty much.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on, y'all. Now, this, I talk about this so many times. The difference between the PS4 and the Xbox One as far as the third-party games and the exclusive games as far as the quality. Now, how many of y'all remember Thief on the Xbox, on the original Xbox?
I never
Not
played
to
it.
me.
Okay, never played it. Okay. Thief is an old game. They brought it back, and I think it's already out as we speak. And on the PS4, it's at 1080p. 1080p graphics, okay? On the Xbox One, it's 900p.
Wow.
So this is basically telling us, obviously, that the PS4, once again, is superior. And it blows my mind. It's like, why is these games are more superior on the PS4? Is it a hardware issue? Is it because of the hardware? Or I don't know why the Xbox One can't do full 1080p graphics. And it's like, come on, this is next gen. Y'all need to step it up and start putting out full 1080p quality games. And this is just showing me right here that the future doesn't look bright for Microsoft. Like, it's not looking too bright, because 900p quality versus 1080p, that's a huge difference. That's still sort of like 720p in certain ways. It's just higher than 720p, which probably is sharper and crisper, but it's not pushing the envelope as far as a full 1080p display, as far as graphics and everything. I mean, you could push 1080p and then still do 30% on the frame rate. If you're doing 60% on the frame rate, then you're doing very well. And a lot of the Xbox One games that are 1080p is doing 30 frames per second.
Wow.
So, again, $500 system, got to do better than that. We have to do, this is next gen, y'all. This is not last gen. We have to do better than that. This is a must that we do better. So, anybody want to shed anything on that? I know y'all probably not Thief fans, but at least just for the comparison between the two different versions of the games on the system. Anybody have anything to shed?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to me that the Xbox One can't really, at least for a lot of the games, it doesn't really run at 1080p, because this is Microsoft. They're like a giant, massive company. You'd think that their console would be able to be on par with the PS4 in terms of resolution and frame rate.
Like my point exactly. You guys are the computer giant. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to outdo Sony. Sony is really not really a gaming company. Sony was like more into like movies and electronic stuff or whatever. And when they got into gaming, they dominate gaming with the PS1, with the PS2, with the PS3, now with the PS4. So again, like I said, they're the computer people. They're the computer giants. So you would think that their stuff would be more powerful and better graphics card and stuff like that, but I guess not. And it's showing in the games. Now it's affecting the games. And now people that have Xbox One and PS4, now they're going to buy the PS4 version because the PS4 version looks better and play better. So, Choke, anything, man?
Nothing outside the fact that, it's just time for gamers to stop being surprised when a multiplayer is better on the PS4, It's pretty much proven multiple times, like 10 times over, time and time again, that the PS4 is stronger, and it's going to be in the position that, the 360 was in the early days, where the 360 had all the superior multiplats. So, at this point in time, whenever a new game comes out and the resolution is confirmed to be lower on the Xbox One compared to the PS4 version, no surprise.
Yeah, no surprise at all. No surprise. All right, so let's move on here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein: The New Order releases in May. Now, for a lot of people that are following Wolfenstein, this is an awesome game. I cannot wait for it to come out. And yeah, we released a trailer out on GaminRealm HD today. So yeah, people need to go check that out. The game looks really awesome. And also, when you buy Wolfenstein, or I guess when you pre-order the game, you get Doom 4. A Doom 4 beta will be included in the package for Wolfenstein when you purchase the game, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everyone that doesn't know anything about it. So anybody wanted to share anything on that?
Not checking for Wolfenstein.
Not checking for Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I thought the old one was kind of like just overrated, over-celebrated.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not checking for this one at all. I think it's just going to be, another fish in a sea of first-person shooters. I know that might sound harsh. I might get some hate from the people listening, but that's just how I feel.
That's how you feel.
It's not really my type of game, but I guess I can say based off of the trailer, the graphics look really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the graphics really look. Yeah, really, it looks really good. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's move on real quick. Okay, so the next thing is this. Now, this is kind of sad, considering I'm a huge fan of the game. Metal Gear Solid 5 with really short prologue. 2 hours. Oh my god. The game is the prologue is 2 hours long. Now, this is just crazy. People have been complaining about this, saying how the game is short. It's only 2 hours. And I'm like, this is next gen. Again, this is next gen. We can't have stuff like this happening. We really can't have stuff like this happening. So it's kind of like, what are we doing here? Why are we getting quality? We get mediocre quality, and also we're getting short experiences. I don't know if anybody has anything to shit on this. 2 hours, this is come on, man. That's not even a game.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, not really anything for me.
Not really anything. Anything, choke?
Let me tell y'all something. I've been trying to convince people not to buy that.
Wow.
And the reason being is because if you tell a developer it's okay that you can give me 2 hours and I'll give you $40, that is going to encourage them to do more of that. And the way I see it, that's not right. I don't think you should give gamers, whether it's a prologue, or whatever, 2 hours, $40 is a ripoff. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. There are $5 indie games I could buy right now that could last me 20 hours. You see what I'm saying? So why would I go and support 2 hours for 40? And then the main game, when the main game comes out, right, that's going to be 60. That's going to be $20 more, but it's going to be 50 times the length. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of proof right there that it's a ripoff. And I respect Kojima. He's one of the best developers in the game, but he's really, I feel he's really trying to grab some money right now with this pricing.
Yeah. Like I said, man, it's sad. It's really sad. We're in next gen, and we're getting the same mediocre experience all over again. It's like
Knack.
Knack. Oh my god. Sony could have done a whole lot better than that. They could have dusted off one of their older titles and kind of
really
it out other than Knack. But that's for another topic and another time. Now let's talk about something that Shulk wrote on the site, and this is like very like wow. I don't know what to say about this, but DK Tropical Freeze moves 1,000 units in Japan, shows why variety is important. Shulk, go ahead and take that away, man. Explain to the fans about this article you wrote.
Well, if you guys I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that. If you guys listen to the podcast, it was either episode 9 or 8. I had did a rant about Donkey Kong, right? And it's nothing new. I've been doing that on my YouTube channel for the longest. But basically, the main point I keep making with that game is that Retro, and I hate to say this again, but Retro should have gone with something else that would have been more beneficial for the Wii U. Because when a new system comes out, that's during times where you're supposed to show what the console can do. Whether that's online wise, whether it's using the controller, such as the gamepad, or showing the horsepower, whatever it is. Early games should always strive to show what the console could do, especially when you're you're like one of the top, if not the top, Nintendo studio out there being Retro Studios, the best Western studio they got. And the point I made was that Donkey Kong, it's a great game, people. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game, but it is unnecessary for this early in the Wii U's lifespan. And the reason being is because it is a platformer. And the Wii U has tons and tons of those already. Now, every single time I say this, of course, I got bashed and people got mad at me or whatever. But then these numbers come out and it doesn't move Wii U consoles, which is exactly what I've been trying to tell people this whole time. Because if you like platformers, you're not waiting for Donkey Kong. You already have it for New Super Mario Bros. U, for 3D World, for Rayman Legends, for Sonic Lost World, right? So you already got a Wii U if you like platformers. That's why Donkey Kong isn't moving units like a lot of people expected to. That's it, my rant. I'm done talking about this. I've been proven right. I'm done.
Yeah, like I said, man, I feel like it's too early. I feel like it's way too early for DK. I feel like DK could wait and something else could have had another chance to come out, give something else another chance to come to life, like there's so many things that Nintendo could have put out, and they chose DK. And I'm not super excited about the game. I'm excited, but I'm not super excited because there's so many things that's in the closet that needs to come out to light, and we don't want to sit here and elaborate on all the titles that they could have come out with. What coulda, woulda is not going to fix the problem. So, like I said, I'm excited for DK, but it could have been better.
Yeah, and as much as I'm looking forward to the game, I kind of hate to admit it too, but yeah, I do have to agree with Shokio on this because, it's just like he said, it's like if you like platformers, you already have a Wii U, and it already has all those games on it and everything. But personally, I'm really looking forward to it, but yeah, it's just like y'all were saying, it's just not the right time. The Wii U doesn't have any game like Star Fox, for example. There's no flying or, at least not that I know of, there's no flying space shooter type game out there for the Wii U, and that would be something different for people to be able to pick up and look forward to getting on their console. It's like that, yeah.
Variety sells.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Exactly.
Yep, like I said before, that's what you get, man. When people are not too excited for a title, and they should have come out with, something, more exciting than that. That's what you get, man. So it is what it is. I'm excited, so we're gonna move on. Now Sega. Sega loses the Shenmue trademark. Oh my god.
What?
Yes. For a lot of people that don't know about this, yes. I grew up playing Shenmue on the Dreamcast. Now this is a very good game. I pray to God that it comes to next gen. I pray to God that they remake that game because I love that game so much. And for Sega to be the mother of this franchise and they're losing it, oh my God. I would lose my mind because this is crazy. Anybody wanted to shed anything on this? Because this is like so groundbreaking right now.
To make some clarification on that, they lost the trademark in the U.S. and because you lose a trademark, that doesn't mean you necessarily lose the rights to the series. What this means is that basically, if Sega did finally decide to make a new Shenmue, they wouldn't be able to call that game Shenmue in the U.S. So I mean, they would have to title it something completely differently. So they didn't necessarily lose the IP. They just used the right to kind of use that word for the U.S. only. You know, they could still release a new Shenmue game, you know, Japan or, you know, Europe, whatever. But as far as the U.S. goes, they wouldn't be able to do, you know, Shenmue 4, Shenmue 5, 6, you know, whatever, so on and so on. But what this does indicate, though, is that Sega does not care about that series. And in a way, it's kind of a good thing because maybe this will encourage them to give it to somebody else. You know, maybe another company will jump in. You know what? You don't want to give it. You don't want to use it, so give it to us, and we'll make a new Shenmue or something. You know. So you know, hopefully that's something that could possibly happen. So it's a bad thing because it shows that Sega doesn't care. But at the same time, since they don't care, maybe they would be willing to give it up. You see what I'm saying?
Anything, Michael?
Well, I never grew up playing Shenmue. I kind of missed out on that one. Around when I had the Dreamcast, I actually never even knew about it until much later on. Kind of embarrassed to say, I found out about him when Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing came out, and he was a playable character in that. But, yeah, I really don't know much about how the gameplay works. I always did want to kind of give it a try since everybody kind of raves over it, how good of a game it is, and how they kind of left it at a cliffhanger, and they like promised a new game but never came out with it. So I've always been curious about it, but I've never actually played one of the games before.
Now, Microsoft Xbox One is selling so poorly and retailers are getting desperate. Now, this is sad. This is really sad because it's like you do all this marketing, you tell all these lies, and your system is not selling very well. And yeah, like I said, I've been to so many retail stores and seeing how the Xbox One is like actually on the shelf and it's not going anywhere. So it's like, what are we doing here? So, yeah, go ahead.
I think it all just has to do with the whole $500 thing, to be honest, compared to the PlayStation 4. Like we've talked about earlier, there's just a huge price difference there, and so far Sony has proven that their console is more powerful as well, and also has some good exclusives coming out, so it's pretty understandable for the Xbox One to be struggling right now.
Yes, sir. Shulk, anything?
Of course, the PS4 is a major factor, the competition, and that's part of the reason why it's struggling the way it is. But I actually think more of it actually has to do with image. The fact that, you know, Microsoft tried to pull what they pulled, and yeah, they took it back, and we appreciate that, but a lot of people are like, you know, nope, it's too late, you know, you lost my trust. But basically, Microsoft has painted themselves to be the villain, and everybody is not forgetting, you know, what they tried to do. So I think that's a big portion of why, you know, the PS4 is succeeding and the Xbox One, while selling decently, is definitely not selling anywhere near where it should be, is because right now Sony has, you know, given themselves an image, hey guys, we're for you, you know, we're for the gamer, come buy a PS4, we got this, that, and we got the stronger hardware. And Microsoft has pretty much damaged the face of the Xbox brand with the stuff they try to pull with the DRM and the used games and all that stuff. There's just a negative stigma surrounding the Xbox, and I think that's maybe like 55% of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're so right about that, dude. Like I said, I've said it time and time again. Now let's move on real quick, y'all. Uncharted 4. Okay, Uncharted on PS4. Okay. The game is apparently supposed to have gameplays like Last of Us cutscenes. Now, go ahead and take that away because my mind is like rambling 100 miles an hour on that.
Well, that report definitely doesn't come as a surprise because, we both know that Uncharted and, The Last of Us are both Naughty Dog games, so it makes sense that they would borrow, pretty much, try to kind of blend the two. And again, like it's really not surprising that in gameplay, Uncharted 4 would look like The Last of Us because now we're on the PS4, so most definitely Uncharted 4 would be able to look like The Last of Us in its cutscenes. So that's definitely not a surprise, but like I can't wait to see how the game looks graphically. Hopefully they just mix the actual game itself up a bit and not have it is Drake again fighting this warlord or organization and he's trying to find this treasure or get to this place before somebody else does. Like I want them to just bring a different concept with the next Uncharted. That's my only concern. If they could bring that, I'm good. I'm completely good. No complaints.
Yeah, and I'm gonna talk about it because, like I said, I love the franchise. Ever since the first Uncharted was, let me rephrase that. Ever since the first Uncharted got debuted on the PS3, I was like, okay, this is basically Tomb Raider, but in a different form. And I get the whole treasure hunting type, funny type of character and that Drake is and everything. I love that. I love that. But it's time for Uncharted 4, it's time for new things. Yeah. I think the 4 symbolizes something new, something innovative. I want to see a different side of Drake, not just, hunting for treasure or, trying to stop, these other, what they call the enemies, I guess pirates or whatever. I don't remember.
Some are pirates, some are mercenaries.
Mercenaries, yeah. I get that because there's so many games out there like Uncharted, but the thing that's so awesome about Uncharted is that it uses all those gameplay elements from different games and put it into one and make it one awesome blockbuster experience, which is amazing. So I'm hoping that Naughty Dog is a very, very, very good company. They're very awesome. I love all their titles, from all the way from Crash Bandicoot all the way up to now. And I just can't wait to see the graphics. And I mean, if the Order 1886 looks so amazing, imagine how Uncharted 4 is going to look. So yeah, you're right, Chuck. If they can take Uncharted to a new direction and push the envelope even further, I feel like, yeah, we have another game of the year on our hands whenever it decides to come out. Yep. So
yeah, you were saying how you hope they bring something new. I think it would be interesting if, instead of like looking for treasure or something like that, if they actually really did take it in a different direction and like, instead of what am I saying? Oh yeah, like what if Drake was put into a situation to where he didn't start the adventure or anything like that. It's like the threat came to him, and he just has to go through all this chaos and everything, trying to pretty much protect his own life. Like he's forced into the adventure, basically.
Yeah, something fresh, or a new character, period. And I love Drake. Like, he is one of my favorite video game characters of last gen. But it's like, after 4 games, and including the Vita one, his antics, get old, after a while. Like, he's been doing the same things. And it wouldn't be a problem if these games were stretched out a bit more. But we got, like, all these games within the same generation, So they kind of saturated it faster than it really would have happened.
I see.
Well, one of the ideas, I was talking about this the other day with one of my friends. One of the ideas, like, I propose is, like, how in the beginning of Uncharted 3, it showed how, Drake met Sully as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was thinking, like, hey, how about an Uncharted game where, we play as Sully, and instead of having, like, Nathan and Elena being the AI partner, you play as Sully, and then Kid Drake is the AI partner or something like that.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, like I think that would be a great idea for them to let us play how Sully and Drake like grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be dope.
Yeah, and see, that is very good because I'm a story person. I love stories, and that's why I was saying in the beginning about Titanfall. You know, the game is not gonna sell. I made a video and I actually wrote something on this. You know, a game is not gonna sell. Not just Titanfall. A game is not gonna sell very well or perform very well if you don't have single player. If you only have multiplayer, then the experience is not gonna be so epic. It's not gonna be strong. It's not gonna be innovative. And multiplayer is multiplayer. You're playing with a bunch of people online. There's nothing cool about that. And after a while, you're gonna get bored. You know, and then you don't have any single player to lean on, you know, to kind of go back to it's sort of like eating sour grapes all the time. You know, you go back and forth eating the sour grapes and it's like, wait a minute, it's just the same taste over and over again, and you get tired of that. You want to try something else. It's the same thing, you know, with Uncharted. It's like now we're at the third installment and we're experiencing the same thing over and over again, but it's in just different formats. We would like to see backstories on all these different characters that you introduced over the years, you know, from Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, and kind of put it in one giant pot for Uncharted 4. I feel like that would be awesome if they could actually do that, you know, kind of give us some backstories and kind of introduce some new gameplay elements, kind of give us a different side of Drake and not just a treasure hunt, and kind of give us some backstory on him in general, where he came from, when he was born, you know, stuff like that. You know, kind of just throw that whole suspenseful type of, you know, story-driven aspect of Uncharted. But I feel like if they nail it, and believe me, Naughty Dog, they're like so awesome when it comes to story. Because look at The Last of Us. I mean, that game was very good as far as the story is concerned. The graphics could have been better on the environment, but at the same time, Uncharted, they need to do that. I'm sorry, so Shoki, you wanted to say something?
Oh no, I was agreeing with you with the graphics.
Yeah, like the graphics on Last of Us, on the characters and on certain parts, it was good, but like the environment could have, it needed some work right there. But, you know, needless to say, you know, PS3 was phasing out at the time when Last of Us came out. And wouldn't this be awesome, y'all, for PS4 to actually have The Last of Us as a brand new IP? I'd rather have The Last of Us as a launch title. Now, if Last of Us was a launch title, exclude that and have Last of Us and maybe Killzone and probably a new Ratchet and Clank or a new Jack and Daxter, that would have been a lot more crazier than what we have right now.
Yeah,
and I feel like
one right now.
Yeah, Sony could have pulled so many different strings, you know, to make their launch lineup a lot better. But at the end of the day, like I said before, I felt like Last of Us could have been a bigger title on the PS4. I mean, the game has such huge potential, but you know, Last of Us 2 is coming out for the PS4, but I wanted Last of Us, the series, to actually start on the PS4. I don't know what y'all had to say about that.
I mean, I understand the developers wants to, you know, put their game on a bigger install base.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like, you know, with the Donkey Kong situation, I think that, you know, when it comes to, if you're like the best freaking developer, you know, that company has, or one of the best or whatever, like, I think you should, you know, kind of not be selfish and, you know, kind of like do what's best for the system rather than yourself, you know, because if you help the system, that's going to help you in the long run, you know, at the end of the day. So it's going to be beneficial. If The Last of Us was a PS4 launch title, and also, and you mentioned Ratchet and Clank, and the funny thing about that is that's another game I feel should have been a PS4 launch title, was Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, which just came out on the PS3, like, you know, I think it was like last early fall, last year, 2013. I think that should have been a PS4 title as well. Now, if it launched with a Naughty Dog game, Killzone, and Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus. I mean, it's already selling extremely well, but that system would have blew the you know what up. You know, like it would have. Man, I would have had one right now. You know, because the only reason why I don't have one is because I know I'm just gonna play Killzone and then be bored.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the reason why I don't have it right now. But if it had those games, then man.
That's what I'm saying. You know, Sony could have went with so many different ammunitions to fire. You know, they had. That's what I'm saying. Sony is the king of exclusives. You know, they could pull so many different strings to make their launch lineup a lot stronger and better and drive. Even though the PS4 is selling like crack right now, it could have been selling a lot more than what it's doing right now. Because don't get it twisted, games is more important than hardware. Games is what sells the system. So if you're putting out same thing with this Nintendo situation. If you give the fans what we want, then you won't have a problem. You won't have a problem. Now, if you're stuck in your selfish ways and you're lackluster when it comes to marketing, and you're lackluster for listening to the fans, and you just want to be in your own selfish ways, then your system is going to fail. It's going to fail. So at the end of the day, like I said before, if Sony would have released Last of Us on the PS4, they'd have pushed out Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter. Oh my God. Like, people that are not Sony fans, they would have went out and bought it. You know, because it will bring back childhood memories of you playing it on the PS2. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh man, this is amazing to see this little cat rat looking furry creature.
Yeah.
The HD again, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about right there. That would have been so awesome.
Yeah, this is still pretty much related to what you were just now talking about. At the same time, it is kind of a different subject, but it's still related.
Yeah.
But they need to, Sony needs to buy out Crash Bandicoot again.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yes.
Activision, they took Crash Bandicoot. What they did with them didn't work, and then they just left them in the dumpster to just rot there. And honestly, if Sony just bought back Crash Bandicoot, that would bring even the casual gamers and kids. Even they would want a PS4 if they brought that in. That would bring in a whole new audience to the Sony consoles.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, like I said, man, it's you know, Last of Us, I love the game, and I can't wait for the second one. And being that, you know, Uncharted 4 is going to have comparable Last of Us quality cutscenes in the game, that's going to be pretty awesome, because the cutscenes in Last of Us was truly amazing. So shout outs to Naughty Dog for making one epic game and giving us one epic experience. Now, I'm sure everybody's going to take a bite on this apple, including me. I'm going to take the biggest bite out of this apple right here. Now, expectations. This is just open. Anybody can take this. And I'm going to let everybody say what they have to say before I take it. Nintendo's expectation. Now, I'm going to just elaborate a little bit. Now, when I say Nintendo expectations, what are your expectations from Nintendo, being that all of this stuff is going on right now with Nintendo, and the Wii U is not selling that well. They're not making the correct choices of their titles. They're not making the best choices. They suck at marketing. I hate to say it. They suck when it comes to marketing, and I don't know who they need to fire at Nintendo, but they need to get their act together, because when the Wii U came out, it came out in such a time where it was kind of like in the middle of the PS3 and the 360 era. And it was I feel like Nintendo should have waited a little bit coming out with the Wii U, and kind of waited until the PS4 and the Xbox come out, and then they'll just push give us that true next-gen experience that we want so much, and then push the titles that we're looking for and hungry and thirsty for. Now, E3 is coming up, And when I say expectations, I mean like, hey, you know, what are you guys expecting from Nintendo coming up this E3? Because at E3 2014, they have to show something. They have to show us what's in store for Nintendo. Now, anybody want to bite on that apple? Go ahead and take it. Okay, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess they just really need to focus on what the people want. Like, yes, everybody's requesting F-Zero, everybody's requesting Star Fox. So it's like, why not just give that to them? If they want their console to sell more, give them what they want. And also, they really need to focus on the online play. We really need more online games on the Wii U because we're really lacking that. At least we have Smash Bros. And Mario Kart coming out. That's going to help a lot. But hopefully the online play is actually good on those. Like, I haven't played too many online games on the Wii U yet, so I don't know quite how stable it is and how lag-free it is when it comes to that. But, yeah, really it just has to do with them giving us what we want. And they also do need to market it better. Like, I do remember watching a Need for Speed Most Wanted trailer for the Wii U, and they just marketed it in the worst possible way. That's not a game that you would picture little kids playing with their parent. Like, that's the way they advertised it. They showed, like, a little kid playing it with his dad. Need for Speed. That is not how you market a game like that, especially if you're trying to attract a more hardcore audience to your console. So, yeah, they just really need to get their act together on that and just give the fans what they want as far as, like, the IPs, Star Fox, Metroid, the most requested ones, basically.
Yeah, and just like I said before, and I will say it again, give the fans what they want. Stop being in this selfish mindset that you know everything and you're God. No, you're not. Give the gamers, give the community what they want. Give an ear, you know, and listen to what the fans are saying. Just like how Sony got it right this time. Nintendo, get it right. I love y'all. Y'all are like the backbone of this industry. You know, y'all are like the forerunners of this industry. Y'all the mother of this industry. So at the end of the day, get it right. Get it right, yo. Get it right. I can't wait to go to E3 to actually talk to these guys and see what's happening for Nintendo. You know, like, when are y'all going to start pushing out these AAA innovative, not Mario and Zelda, the titles that we played in the 80s, but fresh, new, innovative content. Yeah, you can bring back some of the classics, but come on. We need to see more from Nintendo this year. And I feel like in my heart, Nintendo has it's like a last chance situation. Like, this year, if they don't come out and say something like worth it that people can bite off and chew on, then I think they're done. And another thing is that at the VGA or VGX, which was so terrible, at the VGX this year, they wasted all that stage time. This is what pisses me off. For Cranky Kong. You're gonna waste all of this time preparing for an event to talk about a character that you're about to put in a game. Like, seriously? Like, this is the stuff that pisses me off. That's why I'm saying you guys are playing games right now. And it's time to get serious, because you're sabotaging your company by talking about the little things when people are looking for the big things. And it's like, Nintendo, they need to get it together. I love Nintendo, but there's a lot of people out there that I know that wants to buy a Wii U and don't want to buy a Wii U because why? Because there's nothing that's innovative. There's nothing to play. There's nothing really to say, okay, they market the system so that you can use the Wii U tablet controller to, you know, to make the experience a whole lot better. There's not one doggone game that I can think of that really pushed the envelope with the Wii U tablet controller. The only game I can think of off the top of my dome is Zombie U, and that game was so mediocre. It was a low budget game. So it's kind of like, Nintendo, what are you doing here? Come out with some exclusive titles, a new Star Fox, a new F-Zero, a new Metroid, something. Let's get it popping. Let's get the fire onto the pot. Let's go. It's time to get to cooking. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, E3 is coming up. Nintendo, they need to step it up. Miyamoto, Iwata, get y'all heads out of y'all behinds and let's get this going. And I don't care what nobody want to say. People all up in their stuck up ways trying to protect their companies or whatever. But it's time to stop the nonsense. It's time to be real. And at the end of the day, they're going to lose big time. They're going to lose big time. I understand they can't stack up to the power of the PS4 and the Xbox One. But at least show some heart. Show some, some type of sportsmanship. You can't keep up with the big dogs, but at least try. Come out with something. Try to revive your console. Don't just leave it to die and then now you're introducing something else. Don't talk about sales at E3. We can care less about sales. What we care about is the games and what's next for Nintendo. Really, that's what we really care about. So, go ahead, man, and just blow everybody out of the way.
Well,
so you're not tired of talking about this by now?
I am, but I'll do it for the podcast's sake. I've ranted a lot about this, like on my channel, of course, but just talk about the podcast, talk about it in the podcast. As Marlon said, Nintendo's marketing does suck, like, period. And they've kind of admitted it themselves. Like Reggie said that himself, that their marketing strategy, their marketing, or rather lack thereof, was very just, lame and inefficient, for all of 2013. And like Iwata has said himself, but we don't know whether or not he's actually going to do something about it, because Iwata will say a lot of things, but then nothing will come from it. But he said himself that he misread the market. He doesn't understand things that are going on abroad. So he pretty much admitted that he doesn't have a grasp or an understanding on the West like he needs to have. But like Nintendo, they need to, whoever their marketer is, they need to fire that person. Like they really, really do, because Nintendo's marketing has been very, very just completely incompetent and inefficient. And the main problem is that the majority of their marketing is actually done online, right? If you're watching a gaming video on YouTube, you'll see a Wii U commercial or something, or if you go to a gaming website, you'll see a commercial or something, which is great. That's advertisement. But the thing is that they're advertising in places where, there's already Wii U owners, there's already Nintendo fans. There needs to be more TV commercials. And they did start doing that last year when the PS4 and Xbox One launched. There was Wii U commercials on the TV all the time, but then after 2013, just stops. Then they have an investor meeting where he, late last January, where he admits all these problems and how they need to get together and they want to revitalize the Wii U. And then the first Nintendo Direct of 2014, 3/4 of it is about the 3DS. So it's like, I don't think any significant changes are going to happen until something is done with Iwata.
Yeah.
I think him and whoever the marketer is, they are the main problems right now. Like when you as the CEO of a company tell your North American, right, CEO or representative, whatever, Reggie is the leader of the marketing for Nintendo North America, whatever. When you tell him to go to a Western video game show to show some crinkly, stinky, old, wrinkled monkey to all these Western gamers, that shows that you do not understand the audience. And that is the main problem with Nintendo right now. Like, the Wii U is selling fine in Japan, but Japan is the smallest market out the three. Europe and especially North America, much bigger gaming markets than Japan. So how are you going to expect to sell a lot? How are you going to succeed if you don't understand the West? We don't care about monkeys over here. We don't. Like, let me stop right there. I'll cut it off right there.
Yeah. We're not even going. I know how you feel, Shulk, and I feel the same way. Nintendo, all we gonna say is step it up. That's all we gonna say. Y'all step it up. Y'all treading on thin ice, and y'all gonna fall through if y'all don't be careful. All right, the last thing we're gonna talk about, and this right here needs some explanation because it has a question mark on it. Okay, Miyamoto, the year of Luigi, ending on March 18. Oh my God!
Thank
Oh,
God.
mamma mia.
New Luigi game in the works. So I'm guessing this is gonna be the last
Oh.
of Luigi after this.
Hmm.
Anybody has anything to say on this?
Yeah, I just in a Skype call, I was just talking about that, and I told my friends like, since the year Luigi is ending next month, in exactly like 1 month from now, almost, and they didn't actually mention Luigi at all in this month's direct. Bet that they are going to go ham on Luigi. They're going to go Luigi crazy next month. Like it's going to be the grand finale. But I'm glad that we finally have a date for this stuff to be over with, because not to sound like I'm not to keep complaining, quote unquote, and whatnot, but Nintendo has a struggling system, and what do they want to focus on in every direct? Luigi, right? Like, why are you talking about a individual character when you should be talking about your system? So I'm glad it's finally ending. We don't have to hear more about Luigi, and I'm a Luigi fan. Like, I love Luigi. If I'm playing Smash, like, I'll use Luigi. If I'm playing Mario Party, I'm gonna pick Luigi. I'm playing Mario Kart. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick Luigi. Like, I'm a Luigi dude. I prefer Luigi over Mario. So the fact that in 2013 Nintendo made me hate seeing Luigi, like that tells you something. I'm glad they're stopping, but we have one more like year Luigi grand finale thing. They're going to do next month. So just one more bump and it's finally over, and they can stop talking about Luigi.
Wow. R.I.P. Luigi. It was nice knowing you.
How exactly does that make much of a difference? Now they're going to stop talking about Luigi. They're going to just start talking about Mario.
Oh yeah. until Mario goes R.I.P., which would never happen because that's what makes Nintendo their money. That franchise makes Nintendo a whole bunch of money, so they're not gonna say R.I.P. to Mario, but I guess Luigi, because I don't know, it's not selling as much as Mario. So yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That is really crazy. On top of that note, that is a wrap for this episode of Gaming Realms podcast. Thank y'all so much for supporting us again. Leave y'all feedback in the comments below. Let us know what you think about what we're saying, what everything that we're saying about all the topics. Let us know. And don't forget to take part in our Titanfall giveaway. There's more details that's going to be on the site, and we'll be promoting the giveaway for people that don't understand about what's going on with the giveaway. So we'll explain more. All right, thank y'all so much. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Love y'all. And that's all I have. Anybody else have anything else?
Nope.
Just thank you guys for watching and supporting GaminRealm. And also, if you want to check out my projects, I do like Mario voice impressions and things like that on my channel called Super Mario's channel. Yeah, I'm sure link, I don't know, in the description. I don't know, just look it up.
I'll put it in there.
All right, y'all. See y'all next week around the same time. And much love. Keep supporting us. And yeah, that's all I have. Peace.
Later.
I thought Shoke was gonna say ciao.